Before we dive into the video, I want to remind y'all, so I'm making in this series DevNotes platform, which is complementary to what you can see here, the DevNotes newsletter, which today's issue is just a shining example of what it is. NextJS 14 was just introduced. IBM has launched Watson X Code Assistant, and X, formerly Twitter, has reported a 60% reduction in costs. These types of things that are going on in the programming industry are what you're going to get with the DevNotes newsletter. You can also come on over to devnotesdaily.com. I'll have it all linked in the description to check out. Yes, I did update the website in case you already knew. We went over to the Beehive website, so all of our articles are available for you to preview, see if you like it, and then sign up. Just don't forget to sign up if you like the articles, of course. And I guess articles isn't really the right term. It's issues of the newsletter displayed on the website, similar to that of articles. Like this is the one that we just saw, NextJS 14, NextJS 14 features, and you can read all about it here, but preferably you'd sign up to the newsletter right here. And speaking of NextJS 14, we are going to be creating a full video on it over on the DevNotes YouTube channel, which will also be linked in the description. We have just 4 right now. We were thinking about 2 per week, and then now it'll probably be 1 per week or 1 every other week. We'd love to hit 1 per week consistently. That's our goal. But subscribe if that's the type of content that you like. Let's get on with the rest of the video. Well, another start to another beautiful week. What you're looking at now is one half of the 2023 Cornhole Champions. I won a $10 gift card, so I'm officially a paid cornhole player, right? I'm a professional at this point. My buddy had a baby shower, and me and my brother just wiped the floor with everybody. So you know, gotta have my bragging moment. Plus, my buddy Alex, I know he's watching this right now, so gotta rub it in a little bit because we played him and his dad, and we skunked them. And then they played us again, tried to redeem themselves. They played a little better. It was a closer game, but we still beat them. But today is going to be a busy day. There's a lot to get done. I think what I'm going to do for the DevNotes platform is, since we got everything posted on the front end from the database, I'm just going to make it look a little pretty. Because plus I am going to try, I know I'm kind of contradicting something from what I said previously. I'm going to try to cut these videos to be a little bit shorter. I don't want them to be over an hour anymore. Maybe something, if it's like 30 to 45 minutes, I think anything less, there's not that much information there. But 30 to 45 minutes, I'll get more than 30 to 45 minutes worth of work done, but I'll cut out any lull moments or what have you. So that's what I think I want to do. I want to get the front end just kind of looking pretty, something to work with. Maybe that's just because of something else that I have to do today, which is finish up this this website that I'm building for a video for Hostinger that I started on Friday, which is why y'all didn't get an episode on Saturday, because this one's a little bit more of a time crunch. This is day 2 of it. I'll probably finish it today, maybe tomorrow, not in this video obviously, but y'all will see that full build in a different video. It's just going to be a fun little interactive website for some trivia. It's like kind of like a scavenger challenge thing for you to get this grand reveal at the end. But I don't want to give too much of it away, so you can actually enjoy the video and enjoy the website. So I have those 2 things to do: work on DevNotes, work on that website. Then other personal things, I gotta call the surveyor to make sure that he put everything into the city to resub the land so I could build a house, and then take all these house plan ideas and information and send it over to the builder to see if we can't get something worked out. There's a lot going on, but hopefully that's it for today. Then we got stand up later today for DevNotes, me and Meganod, so we can get the entire, y'all know what stand up is, kind of what we're doing, where we're going. It's just a little weekly stand up that we're doing now. We used to do it twice weekly, now just once weekly, because that's all we really need, and figure out everything for DevNotes. And that's about it. What I've been thinking for DevNotes and my channel is that I don't know if it'll work out this way, but I don't mind my channel being the rocket booster for the rocket that I hope DevNotes to be. And what I mean by that analogy is, what happens to the rocket booster? Well, its whole entire goal is to throw that rocket, launch it up into space, right? And then what happens to the booster afterwards? It doesn't go to space. It doesn't keep going up. It comes back down, right? So if I'm utilizing my channel to grow DevNotes, because I think DevNotes can be exponentially larger than anything I do on this channel. And I'll continue, you know, it's like SpaceX. I'll continue to reuse, I'll continue to upload videos on this channel, obviously, because that's what I enjoy doing. But I don't mind if, like, what I want is that DevNotes outgrows this channel. Not necessarily DevNotes, the YouTube channel. I'm just saying DevNotes as overall, the newsletter, the platform, what have you. You get the idea. So I've just been doing a lot of thinking because I know these videos, the comments are beautiful. Great response in the comments. Y'all are loving them for those who watch it. But not that many people. Like, I know I can make these other videos that can get 5 to 10 times the amount of views as this series, but it's not going to be as beneficial in the long term. I think there's more value in these videos and building community based on the comments that I got, as well, and just helping people out to kind of see the behind the scenes and thought process and some of these things for this series in particular. And I will continue to make those other types of videos. This is just me thinking out loud here. Anyway, those are just a few thoughts that have been going around my head and my plans for the future. And it's just an interesting thing to think about. Could it change in a week or a month or a year? Sure. But I just want to make sure that I understand that these videos are doing much more for the individuals watching it than trying to get like a bunch of views on, you know, whatever video over here and over there, if that makes sense. I got to stop by my brother's up here. Crap, I forgot a cooler. What am I going to have to do? We had a deer hunt on Saturday, so I'm going to go pick up some deer meat from that hunt. But I forgot a cooler, so maybe I can. Anyway, I'll see y'all back at the office or back in the truck, because NextJS 14 was just released. We can talk about that later. Well, first things first, we're going to hop back into here, and we are going to adjust everything from post test to posts. Well, we're not hopping back in here. I'm just showing y'all what we're going to do, because this is hooked up to everything. I want to ensure that posts work so we can get post tests out the way. I'll still probably leave it here. It's not bothering anything right now. Just in case I need to test something out, I'm going to just leave it right there. So this doesn't really matter. This is whatever we wanted to name it, but just for consistency, we're going to adjust that there. Everything should be fine here. It's mapping through our posts, which that parameter is being passed in from what? From here, from here, from here. We can save that, and then over in supabase server over here, we have post test somewhere. So this is where we're pulling it from. I may be forgetting one or two, but let's pretend that I'm not. So npm run dev, open a browser. Theoretically speaking, because we do, allow me to actually double check before it comes up. In posts, yeah, we have 3 in posts. So we don't actually have any information in posts. Let me just double check this real quick, because I didn't actually cover all my bases. Oh, well, I did find one more, so post test right there. And let me see if there's any more test in here, or in here, okay, or on page. What is this? Oh yeah, this was something else that we had tested, so we should be good now. Oh, and of course, let's not make the same mistake again. We can edit table and we can disable row level security, or we can go ahead and create an access policy, which I think would be the more proper way to go about it. Maybe. Actually, you know what? This is what we're going to do. We're going to disable, and I'm going to confirm disable. So when we come back over, let's let it save real quick. Once it saves, We're going to go back over. Everything should work, right? But what I'm going to do, because some of y'all may be confused if you watched the end of last episode in this series, and that is I was going to, today, be talking to somebody from supabase. We had slight scheduling conflicts because they're in Australia. I'm in Eastern time in Virginia. So a little bit different time zone. What we're going to do is actually on Tuesday morning or Thursday morning, once I hear back from them, we'll be able to get together, and that'll either be a standalone episode or it'll be in something else. And we'll just add this to one of the questions. If I want anyone visiting the site to view the post, I have the ability to view the post. Do I create an access policy or disable RLS? What's best practice? Sure, I could probably just look this up right now and go from there, but we want to have some questions, you know what I mean? We figured out some of these aspects over here, but as we go through the code, as we go through the database, I want to have some of these more specific questions, and we can get the information straight from the horse's mouth. Okay, perfect. So all I did was refresh, because all we had done is updated the posts here after ensuring that everything in our code was coming from posts and not post tests, and we have everything displayed here. So this is just the title card, if you will, not the actual title. This is the title, this is the content, this is the link. So this is just going to, example domain actual example.com/1 and then this is the second post, this is the third post, and we can adjust that as needed. Obviously we will, but for now we're just going to make it look a little pretty. So this is really what I need, right? So posts, that is this page over here that you see. That's our post feed. That'll be the home page. Anybody can come and view it. Maybe there will be a limit, so then at some point you have to create an account, kind of like Facebook does, like Instagram does. Meta just loves it apparently. And then you can obviously navigate to the post, and that'll be its own page. And then you can also navigate to the user from the post feed or from the post itself. And there will be some other pages obviously, but these are kind of like the three main, like this, it's really the heart and soul of it, if you will. And on posts we will have user, who posted it, the title of the post, the amount of votes on the post, an image for the post if it has an image, so I need to add the ability to store an image in posts, the option to share it, the option to save it. I think that would be a good idea. Like, oh, this is an interesting story, I want to read more about this later, so I'm going to save it over here, or maybe this will help me later, I'm going to save it over here. So it's save, it's bookmark, whatever you want to call it. And I was going to have the amount of comments there, with like the little comment icon, but I think I can add that later, because I don't expect there to be a lot of comments or a lot of interaction off rip. And what I've found with myself, at least, when I see a post that has no comments on it, I typically scroll by the post, unless I'm thoroughly, this is a little bit different though, because you'll be thoroughly interested, presumably, in the topic matter, but it is so much nicer to have the actual post or comments on the actual post and an actual discussion on it. And then going over to the post, we'll have the user, so the poster, the title, what the heck does that say? Time since post. Oh man, I was just rushing through it real quick. I wasn't actually expecting to show this to y'all. Time since post, so 23 hours since this post was live, 2 months since it was live, whatever. The amount of votes, the actual content, obviously. The image will be on here as well. I need to add that. And then the actual comments. And the comments will have probably their own they'll have their own respective votes and replies, so their own comments to that. We already have most of that set into the database. I'm not sure about the votes. I don't think we have the votes in the database. And then we'll have the user. What will that be? We can figure that out once we get there. A little bit of information about the user, all of the user's posts, things of that nature. And then I was thinking we have recommended, popular, and all. So chronological order for the post feed. So that's how you can view it. So recommended, that's the algorithm. Popular, you get the idea. All chronological, you get the idea. So this will expand, but I don't even think we will have this. We'll just probably have it in chronological order off rip, but I would like to add recommended and popular eventually. But this is going to be the gist of the MVP, and that's what I'm kind of going to try to build out today. Make the post look a little bit more reasonable, make the actual post page and then the actual user page. We have the sign up page, then we have to create user page to fill in your stuff. So there's a little bit more to it, but those are the three that I'm going to get started on now. So because it's going to be a lot of back and forth and a lot of this and that, I'm just going to dive into a time lapse and a voiceover to explain my thought process. And yeah, that's that. Oh, and which, by the way, this slight adjustment right here is going to be shown in the time lapse as well. I got to figure it out a little bit more. I'm just trying to figure out the colors, the themes. It is TailwindCSS, which is slightly annoying, honestly, because I've been working with custom CSS on the other project, and that is just a delight to work with instead of trying to learn everything that is strictly TailwindCSS and their actual... If you know CSS, it's just a big learning curve for TailwindCSS, so I'm not sure. I've used it before, but I'm not sure if this is the route I want to go with this project. We'll see. So I decided to have ChatGPT kind of get the ball rolling for me, get everything laid out, and I described it as Reddit, and that what you just saw is what it thinks Reddit looks like, I guess. But I just wanted to go through a bit, of the Tailwind documentation, see what colors fit, see what colors match. Right now I'm using all gray, which has a blue undertone, I feel like. But I kind of like warmer undertones, so that's what I'm looking at now. Maybe I want to go with stone or zinc or something like that. I do know I want a border, though, to kind of separate that card from the back. Maybe not something this drastic. We can always change that as needed. But I did change the gray to stone because of that warmer undertone, even though I'll probably change it back in order to match the dev notes blue. It would probably make more sense that way, and that's it for like what we have right here. And this is what we're going for, right? For the post, I'm considering if we just do it a feed. That's a more traditional way. Like one here, like you just scroll 1 1 1 1 1 1 1, or, and maybe I'm just thinking this because we had just looked at devnotesdaily.com and you could see the actual issues 1 2 3 4 5 6. So there's 3 on each row, 1 on each row, or 2 or 3 on each row, probably 1 on each row. That's just something I'm thinking. But here's the profile picture and username. Here's the date of the post. I don't know if I'll do so many, maybe I'll do the actual date instead of time since post. And then this is the title to the post. I made it a little bit bigger, as you can see here. So I just said to and for the post. Who cares? That's the title. This is the image or text preview. And then we have the upvote, we have the comment. So we don't have the number of comments. We're indicating, hey, you can comment, because that's kind of the idea. Maybe it would be like, maybe discuss would actually be an interesting word to use so people know to discuss and not just comment, right? Share, save. That's what we're going to do. And actually, I'm going to throw this image into ChatGPT, see if it can spit me something out. And I hope y'all aren't too upset with the method I'm taking here by kind of doing the time lapse and the voiceover. I actually like the other format of the video, but the fact of the matter is it's a lot easier to just not talk about what I'm trying to figure out and just doing it. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's easier to code. On the other hand, the content is better. So I'll have to find a happy medium for that. And for anyone listening, there's just code and stuff going on in the video. But especially for this, because this is really just me playing around with how I think things look, and it's all really just kind of personal preference. I guess not all of it. So the overall process that I was met with here is I am talking to ChatGPT, kind of giving it my code, saying, hey, I want to go about it this way, making sure everything sets up properly, because we are fetching all of that data from the database. So I got to make sure that it is being properly displayed, properly mapped through, and all of that. And then I have to go back into the database to adjust some of these columns in our tables, or adding a column like image in order to fit exactly how we have it, because I didn't really plan on including a save, but now I do. So I'm going to have to adjust that. I didn't plan on some of these things, or maybe they weren't exactly how I needed them to be. So I have been going through those 3 things, basically ChatGPT, VS Code, as well as the obvious, what's being adjusted by the code, that I count as 1, and then the database itself. And that's really like the overall of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. I'm testing out this icon from Hero Icons that I'm using, which is created by the same people that created TailwindCSS, I believe, and they look really good. So I'm just importing those from Hero Icons React and making sure that it's properly imported by doing Hero Icons /React /24/outline or solid, because if you don't add the 24, it's broken, and ChatGPT doesn't know that. So because it's outdated and I don't want it to look up something every single time I ask it a question. And all of this is just for the posts feed. I still need to add a little bit more dummy data for the image, which is just a string. It's just going to be text, and that'll be a URL or of some sort. I'll have to figure out exactly how I want to go about that, but there's a way that you're supposed to do it, and I'll just follow that. Got to figure it out within supabase though. And then when you click on the post, I made the actual post card, not the entire thing, but the majority of the card clickable, and I removed the read more, so then that'll take you to the URL, which will be the post ID, and I will be using the NextJS dynamic routing in order to route from the post feed to that particular post using the ID. And I set up the post page, but because I'm not pulling in a proper ID and the proper content just yet, I'm unable to really customize that fully. And quite frankly, there wasn't, too much craziness going on other than me trying to figure out the dynamic routing. Nothing really that you can see my thought process of, other than, oh, this looks good, oh, this doesn't, oh, let me add a little bit of spacing here, oh, let me change the formatting here and the color over here and the border over here, and let me add a hover effect to this over here. And that's really what I did during this entire process. So when we do the more problem solving type stuff, I will not do the time lapse. Something simple like this, I say simple, just something that's not really particular and it's just however I want it to be done. I guess this would be the best way to do it, because it allows me to be more creative instead of trying to describe to you every single step of the way. And I'm describing every single change I'm making when I'm changing the same thing like 5 to 6 times in a row, because I don't like the exact padding that I added, right? So that's why I'm doing it this way. Let me know what you think. Hope you got a little bit of value out of it. And I guess we'll push from here to a little bit of a showcase. Yeah, let's do that. A showcase. All right, so this is what we're left with. As you can see, I adjusted this a little bit. Like I said, I added a little hover effect. I don't know, it's nice. But then when I click on this, you'll see a little bit of a border around right here, so that way it doesn't affect, any of these buttons. I can make it the entire card, but that's just, I'll probably do that. But let's just pretend that I'm not doing that right now. Boom, you can see that pink right there, and it's going to a 404. This page cannot be found, because I'm trying to figure out the exact routing of NextJS 13, well 14 now, which 13 had the major upgrade. Right now what I have is app, post ID as like my slug, so like what the post ID will be. And then within post ID, I have a post.tsx, which is exactly what you're looking at here. And the only reason it's red is because comment replies, I don't have replies in the comments. I have parent comment and I have comment, so I'll have to figure out how to structure that properly. It's just I've run out of time, simply speaking, and I'll be working on this more and more next time. And here is the post. We have type comment. I updated the types _db.ts, and just with the command that I typically use, or that I used last time, I should say. And there's really not much here, I guess, other than what you can really see here. So let's go back to post feed. You can see a little bit more of what I did. Actually, let me show you this. You see the heart and you see the 0? Let me click on that. Ta-da! I should probably remove that border there, but I made it blue. I should make this fill in, or replace this to a solid instead of an outline hero icon, but then it increments and then I can click on it and it takes it away. So oh crap, I didn't mean to do that. So if I click on this, let me show my face. Hello. So when I click on this and then I click away, that's when that border goes away. So it's not that big of a deal, but it's something that I would like to change. That's just something I'm noticing now. And then I have the discuss. So when you click on this, it'll take you to the comment section of the post. It'll take you to the post page and just scroll you down automatically to the comment section, just like Reddit does. And then share. This is nothing yet. And save. This is also nothing yet. I wanted to move on to the actual post page before I really spent too much time on this, because I definitely spent too much time on this, because I know I'm going to come back in like a day, a week, a month, a year and change it a bit. But it is what it is. I do want a profile picture to be displayed right here, but that's not that important to me at the moment. And then I'll have the appropriate date, which I thought we did. Let me come to, it should be created. Oh, it should be created at, shouldn't it? So username, date. Oh, I just have filler? That's not correct. Did I only adjust it over here? Okay, so I did. So post username, post created at, that should be here. So I'll make that adjustment now, actually. So I'm just going to copy this. I don't know if it'll actually work. It should. Let me just paste that there, save. And so we have the date, kind of, post created at. We did not format said date. And then the username, we did not specially import the username. So I'm not sure if this is even proper, what you're looking at here, but I'm going to pretend that it is. I'm going to copy this. I guess we'll find out here in a second, right? And I'm going to paste it right here. I don't need the image. I do need the string. And it didn't do anything except for take away that underscore. I figured that wouldn't work. The username should be pulled. No, the user ID. But it shouldn't be the user ID. The user ID is pointed to the ID in the database. Hold on. So here we are at posts. We have user ID in post. So post.userid. But that is foreign keyed over to the user's ID to reference the actual user information. And then the user information, the username, and then image is what I'm going to want to have on that post card right there. And this created at from post, which again we already have. We just need to adjust it appropriately. So that's something else I'll figure out here next time. I'll just write that down. I am going to remove this edit right now, though. I'm actually going to remove this entire edit so I know exactly what I need to do and just leave that there. Not a problem. But this is also an issue I have. So when something happens and it's still blue and it's 0, it marks it at check, but when I undo it, it's supposed to decrease it by 1, right? And that's what it does, but it makes it -1 instead of from 1 to 0. And then I added import link from NextLink, so that's NextJS routing, so that when you click on the actual card, it takes you to post/post ID. Yeah, post/post ID. That's what I have over here. And then it's supposed to pull in post.tsx. Do I have to add something else here? I'm not sure. Honestly, I think this should be enough, and it just references the post with the actual post ID, because obviously each post ID, each post page will have different content based on that actual post, which is identified via the ID identifier. You get the idea. But yeah, that's really it. You know, we're just pulling all the data in, the title, all the content. You already saw that. Just formatting. Just that's it. I don't know why I'm spending so much time on this showcase here. That's all I got.
Whew. It is cold out here, isn't it? I know. It is cold. First real actual cold day, at least in a while. But you know, I have real half a mind of open sourcing this project. Not for any reason other than the fact that I've gotten a good amount of messages offering to help. People on the back end, people on the front end. They're telling me what they can do and what they've done, and they just want to help. Just want to help with the open source, with the project, building the project. So I'm considering it. I'll have to figure out how to exactly go about it with security issues and things of that nature. Not, obviously you can. Obviously you can. It's just, I haven't done it before. I mean, it's easy to open source like little C++ or Java projects or front end projects and stuff like that. But when it comes to something, you know, with a database and security concerns, I don't know exactly how to go about that. So I'll have to spend some time in looking into that, figure out how to go about that, and then that is if I make a decision to open source it. So that's something I've been thinking about. Also, something else that I need to do, I should probably have time tomorrow or the next day to properly structure the project management. Because as you've noticed, I have not been using best practices in order to go about this project like I've advised many of y'all in plenty of my other videos. Now, I have said in some videos, like, instead of thoroughly planning a project, I will just kind of wing it depending on the project. But a bigger project like this, especially if I want to open source it, I'm going to have to set up proper project management in order to have proper sprints and tasks and backlogs and user stories and, you know, all that good stuff in order to just kind of build this properly. But the reason I didn't, and I'll tell you why, because there is a reason. Not because I didn't want to do it, but because I just got to get started. I got to get started on projects. When it comes to just getting started on something kind of like larger scale, one, you don't exactly know everything that you need, right? You're going to learn a lot in that first week or two just trying to hash things out. But two, analysis paralysis is a real thing. So I'll get started with all this and I'll spend all this time trying to set it up in project management and try to figure out this and figure out that. Sometimes with projects, you just got to get started. You can do all of that stuff later, even if it takes you a little bit more time to do it later than if you were to do it over here. Getting started is the most important part. That's what I needed to do. And now that I've gotten started, now that I have a better understanding, and now that I can actually put together tasks and build a backlog of things that need to get done, I can do it. So that's what I'm going to do. If I have time tomorrow or the next day, is put it all together, and maybe I'll do it on my own. Maybe I'll take y'all along for the ride. Either way, I'm recording this on Tuesday. Y'all are watching this on Tuesday, or at least it's being uploaded on Tuesday. So you let me know if you want me to record that and kind of, I don't know if there's any substance there. Honestly, I don't know if there's any substance there, but it is part of the process. So we'll see. We'll see. We have to have a Dev Notes newsletter update here soon. I'm curious to see how integrating that bit at the beginning of the video instead of at the end, or just not talking about the newsletter at all, will affect individuals watching this video right here and signing up for the newsletter and checking out the website. I'll look at the website traffic as well. But that's really all I have for today. There's a lot more in store. Let me know how you liked the format. And we're rolling. We're rolling. Once I put together that project management, I'll have a better understanding of how long it'll take me to launch the MVP. And maybe after I launch the MVP, I'll open source it. Maybe a little bit before, we'll see. So, hope you all enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you like it. Like it if you liked it. It's hard to talk when it's cold like this. Like the video if you liked it. And share it with your friends. Share it with your friends if you think they'd enjoy it. And not just this, but the newsletter as well. If you think they're interested in programming, if they're a programmer, computer science student, a hobbyist, a professional, doesn't matter, share the newsletter with them. Sign up to it. It's free. I feel like that goes unsaid. I don't think I've ever said that. It's free. So, yeah. I hope you all have a good one. See you in the next video.